Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
But who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And what he do?
And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Today we're going to do a little reaction to a new drop, Jump, by it's with Lil Durk, King Von, and Booka600 feat Memo600. Want to thank everybody for their support. Love the comments. We're going to do a complete episode just on comments. I absolutely so where I can answer some of the questions, but some of the comments are just absolutely hilarious. And so I think that'd be kind of fun for you guys to get some interaction. Also, we're going live a little bit more on Instagram, and that way we can kind of give you guys a heads up as to what new videos are coming out. We've got Patreon going, about to get our first payment on Patreon. And once we do, we'll let you know who we got released and how that goes. So without further ado, let's check out Jump. So we start out with all this cash. You see all this cash. And, you know, if this is a record deal, he's probably, or if it's from the streets, who knows. But I can't tell you how many cases I've had where you have social media and people are holding up large amounts of cash. That is just not something you want to do. It's probably okay in this context because it's a rap video. But on Facebook or Snapchat or whatever, it's evidence.
And it's still a few hitters from the six, jumping over bodies when them boys say hit the switch. Niggas tell who you think around the corner, it's a drill. All these blues on me, man, they thought I had a deal. I'm from the six, we don't do no drive-bys, walk up.
So he's talking about jumping over bodies when them boys say hit the switch. Hit the switch, I'm not sure exactly what he's referring to, but it could refer to an AK and there's a safety switch. Fellas dip, who you think around the corner? It's a drill. All these blues on me, man. They think I had a deal. I'm from the six. In other words, I'm from the street. The blues refer to $100 bill. And when I say the six, he means the 600 block of in Chicago.
Fuck who you with. We gon' pull up banging on my niggas gangin'. Keep a blick smoking on that stankin', man.
So walk up, it's a hit. Fuck who you with. In other words, we don't care who you're with. We're gonna pull up banging, all my fellas gangin'. Which is a reference to being hardcore. We're not to be messed with. And keep that blick smoking. Obviously, you guys know what a blick is. And in other words, keep that gun firing. Now, in this video, he talks a little bit about we don't do drive-bys. Drive-bys, first of all, you can get an enhanced penalty for a drive-by shooting. But you also, he's really referencing the fact that we are in your face. And you're not going to slide through my hood. We're going to, and it's a little more up close and personal. I mean, this is a hit. And so he's saying this isn't just some random drive-by. This is very intentional, which kind of goes to premeditation in terms of a murder case.
Dangerous. Draco ain't no aim at all my killers ain't. Like who is him? You don't think the nigga safe, he lose a limb. 50,000 for the chain, half of that'll get you hit.
So he says $50,000 for this chain. I assume he means the gorgeous piece of jewelry that he has around his neck. And half of that will get you hit. In other words, I can get you killed for $25,000. Murder for hire is another extremely high-level felony that carries with it, you know, in some areas, the death penalty if your state has it.
Called that boy dissing Lil Boo, now he dick. All blitz, we just play this shit for keeps. That
if you remember, Lil Boo was one of the founders of the Black Disciples 600 set. He died in 2015. Now, this could be a reference to FBG Duck, who was dissing Lil Boo and is now passed away.
Yeah, I let it off, I keep my blick, I set it off up in this bitch. I seen it all, been in this shit since a little youngest since a gent. He said it all, I heard that boy, he rat, I heard that boy, he snitch. I bet it all, I bet the ops know not to pull up on the six.
He said it all. I heard that boy, he rat. I heard that boy, he snitch. And we've talked a lot about snitches. Now, let me tell you something about snitches. I've cross-examined a lot of snitches in my day. And cross-examining a snitch is actually kind of fun, especially when they're just a jailhouse snitch. A jailhouse snitch is somebody who's your cellie, and he gets a hold of your paperwork and then tries to call their lawyer and say, hey, I know this shit about so-and-so. And he only knows it because he read your paperwork. And then says that, oh, he said this, this, and this. Well, one of the ways you can trap them is you could say, well, does your mother know about this? Does your mother know about that? Did you tell your landlord that you're a gangster? And so you've lied to all these different people. So that's one of the ways you destroy their credibility. But the other thing is you try to pull out other details that they would not know. And you trip them up that way. So when you're on the streets and somebody's a snitch, that's a big problem for you.
Like we take him, give me more trip. He just started shooting. I told him get a grip. She white her lips, saying 600K will get you killed. I'm off a pill. I'm just sitting back high. I got the drip. These niggas hoes, you know I know. He think he slick. I know he told. I'm on the road, still toting pro. My gun.
So he thinks he's slick. I know he told. I'm on the road, still toting a pole. My gun be hot, your shit be cold. So he thinks he's really slick by cooperating, and that's one of the things that happens all the time in a case. Somebody cooperates, and trying to figure out who the cooperator is and what their angle is pretty difficult sometimes, but almost all the time the people that I represent know who the snitch is.
He had a case, his bond on hold. He still locked up, it's taking long. She wanna know when he coming home. See, shit'll get real. You ever been on the drill? When knowing you shot got killed. I'm just keeping it real. Have you ever been in the car with your homie who don't got the wheel? He can't slide.
He's talking about a particular area and lifestyle of the streets, and it's fucking dangerous. And it really would be nice to see something other than all this violence going on. There's a line in here where he says he had a case, his bond on hold, he's still locked up, it's taking long, she want to know when he's coming home. That happens all the time. Somebody can post a bond and it can take forever, and so people are waiting for their loved one while they're in custody. But posting a bond or getting bail is difficult in some sense, and in federal court a lot of times in bigger cases you're denied bond completely.
Have you ever been in the car with your homie who don't got the wheel? He can't slide, he need him a pill. He a bitch, it is what it is. That's your mans, you tryna uplift. But when it's what time, niggas ain't gonna do shit. Them niggas ain't slide no more. The ops outside, man, them niggas ain't had no more. Well, I guess
we see your fella killed your brother. You don't ask, just blow. This really describes a culture of gang violence. And we're seeing too many young guys die. We just are. And, I don't consider this necessarily a self-snitching video, but or the self-snitching song. But I do think that, we need to take a step back at some of this. And I'm not criticizing the art here at all. But it is a reflection of what actually is going on in the streets.
gas no more. When you see a nigga kill Chuck, brother, your ass just blow. When the fuck we start giving passes, though? If you don't wanna shoot, just pass it, bro. Fuck y'all when them masses for. Niggas got guns, but they ain't gon' blow. Yeah, I know a rich nigga homeless, got me a deal, ain't homeless, yeah, yeah. I'm a real nigga for life, and I ain't tryna risk my life, like, yeah, yeah. I was down bad on my dick, and the nigga ain't take my advice, yeah, yeah. I was tryna make my night, but the Percocets ruined my life, yeah, yeah. Spend a whole M on my children.
So, I was trying to make my night, but the Percocets ruined my life. You got kids, drugs don't mix with kids, and especially opioids. You know, Percocets and hydrocodone and oxy and all that kind of stuff is so prolific, but the fentanyl and heroin right now is really what's driving the drug trade, because it's a lot cheaper and easier to get.
Life and I ain't tryna risk my life. Like, yeah. I was down bad on my dick and the nigga ain't take my advice. Yeah. I was trying to make my night, but the Percocets ruined my life. Yeah. Spent a whole M on my children. I was fucked up eating meal plans. Lambo dark and still tense. Money on the lawyer, I'm still rich. I fell off once, I'm still.
I do like this line though, because I think the lawyer's fee was too low. Spent my money on the lawyer and I'm still rich.
Voice of the streets is real shit. I did a little time and ain't tell shit. Pounds in the mail, they ain't mail shit. I'm in school with a kill tip. I love my brother for life.
He says I lost pounds in the mail. They ain't mail shit. I think that's referring to sending drugs through the mail. I have about a dozen cases right now where the U.S. Postal Inspector has intercepted a package. And it's usually because a dog sniff. And they open the package, they figure out what it is, and then they seal the package back up, and then they do a controlled delivery. And that's and usually the package is not addressed to anybody at the residence. That's pretty common. So when the legal implications of getting some drugs in the mail is that you've implicated the federal government at that point. And there's no enhanced penalty for using the mail, but there is it is a much easier way to prove a case that it's coming right to you. I've had heroin delivered, I've had methamphetamine delivered, I've had pounds and pounds of it delivered, and it's not that hard for the feds to catch it.
For life, he lost his legs to a wheelchair. How you get blocks you ain't kill shit? How you run blocks you ain't kill yet?
How you run blocks you ain't kill yet? I lost my brother. I love my brother to life. He lost his legs to a wheelchair. In other words, he probably got shot and had a spinal injury. These are real, actual consequences or results from street life, from gang life. And it's just sad, really. So that was Jump. I liked it, actually. He spent a whole M on his children. I suppose that means he spent $1 million on his children. Spending $1 million on your kids doesn't mean anything if you're not there to enjoy it with them. So what's really important is getting out of the streets, not doing it for the streets. That's just my one man's opinion. I guess the upshot of that is that you're spending your money on your kids and not pumping that money back into drugs and guns and doing something positive with it. So to that end, we should applaud him and emulate that dedication to your children. That was Jump, and I want to just give a shout out to the brains behind the operation, Michael Rivers. He is my son, and he's a second-year law student, but he's also just a genius when it comes to photography and videos and stuff. He selects the music that we do, and I couldn't do this without him. Couldn't do my practice without him. He's a very talented guy all the way around. So a shout-out to Michael Rivers. And Jaylap and CRAM. Let's don't forget that fucking fire intro. We are going to do a whole song. We might even do a video on my boat. I don't know. That's just a tease, but I think we might do something like that. Leave a comment if you want to see me rap on the track, because we might give that a shot. I don't know if I'm any good at it, but we'll see. So again, this has been Bruce Rivers, Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Thank you for watching.